The Nashville Film Institute, or NFI as its constituents call it, a film school in Nashville, Tennessee, the city where in 1889 music was created. At this here film school, the future of the film industry lives and are currently working on their student documentaries. And now, let's pan to Freddie.
Hey, man.
What made you choose this subject for your documentary?
I had to come up with something new last minute, and it was really the first thing that came to mind. It's about womanhood, and I'm a woman, I love being a woman, and I love women, so.
I feel very strongly about immigration. We're doing a topic about ICE and their presence in the United States, and I feel like it's important, especially us as filmmakers, we have to use our platform to fight against some things we don't believe in, and just show every side to every story.
I chose this topic because it is extremely culturally relevant in our society right now. And I think it's really important that we humanize immigrants because of how many people have basically viewed them as subhuman or not human at all. So our goal with our documentary is to humanize and remind people that these are people just like you and me.
Well, it's something that's very near and dear to both my heart and the hearts of all my fellow crew members. And, well, it means a lot to talk on a topic that affects many people in our shared communities.
To bring awareness of religion and faith, the differences between the both.
What kind of planning has to be done to ensure that this will be a smooth production process?
I had to find people to interview, figure out a good list of questions, send them out, schedule times for each person to come that fit with their schedule and hours.
We had to obviously think about the questions we would ask our subjects, and just also keep in mind how we were going to structure the actual doc.
We had to get consent forms, first of all, for everybody we have on camera. That's important because they're going to be talking about stuff they might feel uncomfortable with, so we need to know that they're okay with being filmed. The setup is also important. We gotta make sure everything looks nice. So we put a lot of effort into that before we even start rolling.
Especially making sure that we were communicating ahead of time what we expected of the participants, the interviewees, making sure they understood the brevity and how personal the matter could be for them. Yeah, we made sure that we communicated everything ahead of time.
Lighting, of course, but very simple. Camera, sound equipment to make sure everything was being captured. But we definitely wanted to make sure the room felt good and just try to make it as simple as possible, nothing too much.
We had to figure out how we were going to interview our subjects. A few of them were scared to be on camera, so we faced that hurdle. So we had to come up with a creative solution to get authentic answers while also portraying a subject on film.
We had a backlit portion to allow an actor to stand in for the individuals who weren't comfortable being seen or having their voice featured in the documentary. So we read off of a proper interview that we did in private, and we had it put down on a transcript, and then we read off of that. So our actor could be the fill-in so that their identities could be protected.
So what part of the documentary ended up taking more time and effort than you originally expected?
The part that took the most time that we definitely didn't expect was probably the questions.
Finding the questions. I came up with like 20 questions at first, and I had to shorten it down to 12.
And we didn't want to lead anyone with the questions. We just wanted to ask very broad questions, really get the story out of them the best we could. I think the questions took a while.
Probably at the beginning stages, because we started out with a totally different plan, and then it kind of morphed into what we're doing now. So we just took our time with that and made sure that everything had like continuity.
The hardest part was just getting people to agree to being either on camera or just participating in lending their word and their experiences with ICE?
Really just sound. We just wanted to make sure voices were being captured, so we had to make sure we tried to do it in a time frame that the air conditioner went off and people were talking less.
What part of the production was easier than you expected?
Interviewing the women.
The part that was easiest for the documentary was definitely the interviews itself. I mean, the people were ready to talk about these things, you know? I think it's something that they've been wanting to talk about, so they let it out. And we just sat there and recorded and, you know, talked to them.
For me, the filming, because we just got to set up like 2 lights. We're in a pretty small space, so once we set up, it takes a few minutes and then we're good to go. So that's probably the easiest part for me, personally.
Just the filming part, once we had the interviewees in place, just getting to film them or getting the actors to be the stand-ins for them, that was by far the easiest part. It required the most manpower, but it also required the least amount of just sheer time investment.
Interviewing the people. Yeah, that was a breeze.
Lighting the subjects. So our actors and our subjects are completely blacked out on camera. They will be blacked out, anonymous. And it was really simple to pull that effect off. All we did was put a light behind like you've got right now, and it looks pretty similar to how I'm on camera right now. So that was easier than I thought it would be.
How has this project changed you as a filmmaker?
I guess got reminded that I enjoy directing.
One of the ways this documentary has changed me was definitely, like I said, to just be more considerate for others and their circumstances. And what I mean by that is just like, you have to be, you're never going to be invisible with the camera, but you still have to be respectful with it. You have a responsibility as a filmmaker. That's one thing for sure. I don't know, just not misrepresenting anybody. I would say that, yeah.
Just getting hands-on experience in my early days of, you know, trying to be a filmmaker, if you will.
It made me more aware of lighting, camera, sensitive to people and how they felt on the subject.
I don't think it has. This is the exact type of film I want to make, and these are the stories that I want to tell. So I think this is just more of a continuation of my journey as a filmmaker rather than changing me, if that makes sense.
Even if the documentary doesn't turn out perfect, what is one thing that you're proud of?
The way that I organized and planned everything.
Telling these stories. I mean, I don't care if 10 people see this documentary or 100 people. At the end of the day, it's somebody new seeing the other side of the story that's never really talked about.
I think it's a good message. Now that we're here, it's a great message, but it really depends on the execution at this point. I think the message is good, and it just depends on how we put it together.
I'm proud that we took a topic that is both personal and very timely in this day and age, and that we did what a lot of people end up not doing, is that they come up with a very compelling idea, something that they're very involved in, something that they want to do, but they end up just giving up and calling it quits early because it turns out to be more challenging than they intended it to be. But we kept pushing, and looks like we're still going to get the results we were looking for, and while still keeping it impartial and giving an honest and very human look into the lives of American immigrants and their families.
The fact that I did it. Nothing beats a failure but saying no to something. You just gotta go for it. So even if you fail at it, you really win. Don't be scared, don't procrastinate. So the fact that I went forth with it, that's what I'm proud of.
Our ability to work together to pull this off. I think we have a very strong subject. It's a little bit touchy, it's a little bit more difficult than, other topics we could have picked. So I think working as a team, we've really, we pulled off what we could with limited resources, and I think that's pretty impressive.
These kiddos and adultos may only be at NFI for a little under 2 years, but gosh, haven't they learned? Haven't they put in the hard work? Haven't they had fun? Well, in the humble opinion of these two fellers.